I just found myself questioning why I was even in this job. And so I went to my partner and I said, how would you feel if I quit my job and did something else? And happily she said, yes, absolutely, go for it. My name is Sasha Bladt-Cohen and I am the founder and head distiller at Vintersol Distillery. Vintersol itself, as a name, it literally means winter sun. It's that feeling of being out in the snow and having the sun hit your back and just that warmth and comfort that comes with it. There were several things that inspired my change from a more corporate role to this. First was the fact that I found that I really didn't fit into a corporate role very well at all. And eventually it got to the point where simply working was making me quite unhappy in my day-to-day. The other part is the love of spirits and of being creative in that space. So when the opportunity came, I jumped on it. I picked up a cheap copper still from Spain and started distilling in my parents' garage. Started reading books and articles on the subject and thereby started refining what I was doing. So Akvavit is in many ways very similar to gin. The key difference is that the core botanical, rather than being juniper, which is what defines a gin, it's caraway or dill seed, which gives it a rather more earthy, rather more spicy in some instances aspect. The first written record of Aquavit actually comes from 1531 in a letter from the then Lord of Bergenhouse Castle in Norway, Eskebille, to the then Catholic Archbishop of Norway, Olaf Engelbrektsson. And in this letter he writes, "Here is a bottle of Aquavit which is good for all ailments both internal and external." However, the spirit has remained fairly traditional in Scandinavia. It's typically drunk ice cold and neat. It's not really something that's ever mixed. And so what we're attempting to do is to open up and contemporize this particular spirits category. In terms of specific rituals that involve Akvavit, those I would say are, mostly Swedish in origin, where Akvavit is almost always accompanied by singing. Or you'll toast with a specific person at the table, lock eyes, raise your glass, and keep eye contact as you sip, sort of bonding moment. So the distilling process is at its heart actually a very, very simple process, and it relies on the fact different substances evaporate at different temperatures. Now ethanol, for want of a better term, is a very sticky molecule, so when it begins to evaporate, it will take with it other things. You have your mix of botanicals, your ethanol, your water, you heat it up, the ethanol begins to evaporate, takes with it those flavor particles, separates them. It travels up the column of the still, crosses over what's called the bridge, and hits the condenser that cools that ethanol vapor back into a liquid, which we can then capture. That's the core of it. A spirit that represented London would taste like an absolute mess, and that's all the better.